Have you ever thought that maybe a cheap old medicine gathering dust on pharmacy shelves could be our strongest weapon against the world's #1 killer, heart attack? We usually think that to keep our hearts healthy, we just need to control fat and blood pressure. But modern medical science has recently revealed a major secret. Chronic inflammation is the hidden fire that slowly destroys the heart's arteries from within. And the very good news is that in November 2025, just a few short months ago, a major international clinical study was finally published. It shows that an old pill, maybe the same one your grandfather takes for his leg pain, can put out this fire and prevent future heart attacks. Let me explain. Let me tell you a secret that even many doctors don't pay attention to. Heart attacks are not solely triggered by elevated cholesterol, but also by the inflammatory attack of white blood cells on the walls of the arteries. When you take colchicine, this medication functions very much like a strategic commander and travels directly through the bloodstream to the cells called neutrophils, providing them with specific instructions to immediately cease attacking the arteries of your heart. This means we're adjusting the immune system so that instead of causing damage, it actually protects our heart. A kind of reverse engineering of inflammation that until recently seemed impossible in routine cardiac treatments. The name of the drug is Colchicine, a medication that doctors have been prescribing for years to treat gout. But the story gets interesting when researchers found that people who take this drug tend to have healthier hearts. The issue became so serious that the Cochrane organization, which is the strictest and most reputable medical authority in the world, got involved. They took a closer look and reviewed 12 major scientific studies involving 23,000 people to find out the truth. The result was so astonishing that it is now actively changing cardiac protocols all around the world. If you or your loved ones have a history of heart disease, taking the time to listen closely to this video might change the entire course of your life. According to this recently released medical report, taking a low dose of colchicine works wonders for people who have previously had heart problems. Just listen to these numbers to believe it. This pill significantly reduces the risk of another heart attack by up to 25%. That means out of every 4 people who might have suffered another heart attack, 1 additional person's life is effectively saved. Just imagine how much you can lower the risk of this potentially life-threatening and devastating event simply by adding an affordable and simple daily pill to the usual medications. But wait, the good news doesn't end here. There's another significant and life-changing health benefit that many people don't know about. Did you know? Most heart attacks happen when a fatty plaque in the artery acts like a volcano, microscopically speaking. Colchicine functions essentially as a protective layer or thermal insulator, effectively shielding and covering these plaques, and thereby preventing inflammation from causing them to rupture. In fact, with this medication, you're essentially fireproofing your arteries from the inside. This means that even if there's some fat in your arteries with colchicine, the chance of that fat causing a clot and a heart attack drops significantly because it stabilizes and strengthens the plaques. In medical science, this is very important to us. This research showed that colchicine doesn't just protect the heart, it also ensures the brain. The data shows that the risk of stroke is also reduced by about 33% with this medication. Its mechanism of action is simple. This drug suppresses chronic inflammation in the arteries. It is precisely that same type of chronic inflammation that causes fatty plaques in the arteries to suddenly rupture and block blood flow. So, we are effectively killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We calm the heart and also significantly reduce the looming threat of a stroke for the patient. Now you might ask, if it's so good, why doesn't everyone take it? Here's the important clinical point. This medication is approved for secondary prevention. That means it's for people who have already had a cardiac event or have blocked arteries, not for completely healthy individuals. The second point is that this medication hasn't had any remarkable effect on overall mortality rates. In other words, it might prevent heart attacks, but it hasn't significantly increased lifespan in a meaningful way. Of course, this is still based on recent studies, but honestly, who would want to have a heart attack anyway? Just the fact that it can prevent heart attacks and keep you out of the ICU is incredibly valuable in itself. But the strangest part of the story is that this miracle drug isn't entirely synthetic or man-made. It actually has its roots in nature and is derived from a beautiful flower called autumn crocus or colchicum. Interesting, isn't it? The ultra-modern and new injectable drugs that exist today do the same thing as colchicine, but each dose of those costs thousands of dollars, while this gift from nature is available at a negligible price. That's what I call a victory. An authentic and old medicine triumphing over the pharmaceutical giants of the world who are always after selling their extremely expensive products. But like any other medication, there's a catch here too that you need to know so you won't be caught off guard. Colchicine has a well-known side effect that affects the stomach and intestines, as was shown in these studies. People who take this medicine may experience diarrhea, nausea, or stomach cramps. The good news is that these side effects are usually mild and temporary, and your body quickly gets used to them. And more importantly, unlike many other medications, it doesn't have dangerous or serious side effects. So if your doctor prescribes it for you and you get some stomach cramps for a day or two, don't be afraid and don't stop taking it abruptly. Just consult your doctor. One interesting point that this study highlights is the issue of medication dosage, which we have here. When it comes to low doses, we're usually talking about 0.5 milligram once or twice a day for 10 days, not the much higher doses that are used for gout attacks. This is very important because higher doses have a greater risk of side effects. But the low dose performs exactly the same function. We need it to safeguard the heart, that is, to effectively minimize inflammation without fighting the patient's own body, so please do not arbitrarily increase the medication dose, in the hope that it will be more potent or effective. Now here's the main question. Can this medication replace aspirin, statins, or cholesterol-lowering drugs? Absolutely not. Colchicine is a powerful supporting ally. This drug comes alongside the other medications, works with them, and completes the protective effect. Imagine you're building a castle. Aspirin and cholesterol medications are the castle walls, and colchicine is the moat you dig around the castle so the enemy, in this case a heart attack, can't get close. So don't think about stopping any of your medications. Instead, talk to your doctor about adding this one. This study also had a hidden message for healthcare systems. Colchicine is a generic and inexpensive drug, whereas some new heart treatments can cost millions. Using this medication can significantly reduce treatment costs. So, if you have a personal history of a heart attack, stenting, or any arterial blockage, be sure to ask your cardiologist at your very next visit, "Doctor, based on the recent 2025 studies, am I a good candidate for taking colchicine or not?" Asking this specific question shows that you are an informed and up-to-date patient. And if needed, please feel free to share this video with them to help facilitate that conversation. In short, medical science is not always just after expensive and brand new drugs. Colchicine works by reducing inflammation in the body. It creates a new line of defense against heart attacks and strokes, something we had overlooked until just a few years ago. Your personal health is your most valuable asset, so focus on protecting your heart, the vital engine of your life, by staying informed about the latest scientific methods. Remember to share this important video with anyone who has a history of heart disease. This simple tip might just save their life. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. Please don't forget to like and comment. Doing this really helps this video reach a wider audience. Also, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next video. Take care.